I'm going to wait till some people filter in. Sorry, guys. Talking to my brother. Somebody from Tennessee just tried to hack my YouTube account. So, yeah, we're having to switch up some things. But, you know, it happens. So, you knew I was going to do this. College football playoffs are out, or the new rankings are out, and it's just, this is a mess, guys. This is crazy. I don't understand what criteria the playoff committee is using. They're so inconvenient. We know it's about money, but at some point, can't you at least make it seem like you care about, you know, who is the better team, and you're actually comparing resumes, and you're actually trying to get the 4 best teams in the playoffs? I don't know what to say, guys. It's unbelievable. The biggest thing, and I think this goes for everybody, the biggest shocker for the new playoff rankings was Florida only falling 1 spot. They got beat by a 3-win LSU team at home, 37-34. And they only fall 1 spot. So it looks like they're not even trying to hide the fact that, you know, it's all about money. It's all about money, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. All right, so let me see. I can't see y'all's comments. Let me try something real quick. Let's try that. All right, there we go. Yeah, because I like communicating with you guys, and y'all have awesome things to say all the time. So we have championship Saturday coming up. There's a lot of big games coming up this Saturday. I wanted to talk about that real quick. The Pac-12 championship. It's a weird one. Just like this year, Washington had to back out because they didn't have enough offensive linemen. So we have the Pac-12 championship that we thought we was Oregon against USC. It didn't happen the way we thought, but it happened. So Oregon is 3-2. They're taking on number 13 USC, 5-0. The line opens USC a 3-point favorite. Vegas does not trust USC, and I get it, but Oregon is not a very good team. They're not even the best team in their division, but the best team in their division had to back out, so they got in by default. So that 3-point line, we're talking about betting real quick. Lay the 3 points. To me, it's common sense. I think USC will beat them by at least a touchdown, no problem. Big 12 championship. This is a big one. This will be a very interesting game. Outside chance that it could affect the playoffs because Iowa State is now at number 6. They climbed a spot, so they're only 2 spots away from being into the playoffs. Could they be the first 2-loss team to get into the playoffs? Or maybe Florida becomes the first 2-loss team to get into the playoffs. What if a miracle happens and Florida beats Alabama? You know, do they forgive this LSU loss and let them in? It looks like they're going to. They only fell 1 spot, so why not, you know? So you have 2 teams right there, two 2-loss teams that could potentially crash the party and be the first 2-loss team to get into the playoffs. This is a very evenly matched game too. Oklahoma and Iowa State are catching each other at the exact right time. Both of these teams are very hot. Both of their defense playing at a high level. Both of their offensive playing at a high level. I give the edge to Oklahoma at quarterback, but I give a huge edge to Iowa State at running back. Breece Hall is a beast. for Iowa State. He averages 6.1 yards a carry, over 1,300 yards in just 10 games. That's incredible. Spencer Rattler, the quarterback for Oklahoma, he's starting to get it going. He had trouble in the beginning. They lost to Kansas State and Iowa State. This is a rematch. So Iowa State's trying to beat Oklahoma for the first time in 2 years, or 2 times in the same year. I said that completely the opposite. So Iowa State, this opened up as Oklahoma as a 5-point favorite. In my opinion, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, as Ric Flair would say. Oklahoma, I'm going to pick Oklahoma. As far as the line goes, I guess I'll take the points, and I'll say Iowa State wins by, a field goal, whatever, something like that. It's going to be a good game, but it wouldn't surprise me if Iowa State won this game. But right now, since Oklahoma got back to the Big 12 championship, I can't pick against them. But I would really like to see Iowa State hit that upset button and beat Oklahoma. The big thing for Oklahoma is their running defense. They only allow 88 rushing yards a game. If they can shut down Breece Hall, then Oklahoma will have no problem beating Iowa State. But I do think Breece Hall will be a factor. I'm going to take Oklahoma, but in a very, very close game, take the points. The SEC championship. This line is crazy, guys. It opened up at 17 points. I thought it would open up at least 20 points. Since then, it's trickled down to 13.5. Alabama 10-0, Florida 8-2. They just lost to LSU. How is this line so low? I'm not understanding this. Somebody explain this. The big thing is the quarterback comparison. Florida, believe it or not, they have the better quarterback, Kyle Trask. 259 for 369. That's 70%. 3,717 yards, 40 touchdowns. Not 14, 40 touchdowns. And just 5 interceptions. Mac Jones, though, for Alabama, he's pretty good. 217 for 284, 76%. 3,321 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So if we were to base this game on quarterbacks, I would give the edge to Florida. The problem is you can't just base it on quarterbacks. Florida's defense lets them down more times than not. It let them down against A&M, and it let them down against LSU. LSU is not a good team. Florida's pass defense has got to be fixed if they want any chance whatsoever to beat Alabama. I think they have 0 chance. The line, for me, is laughable. Alabama scores 49.5 points per game. Florida scores 41.5 points per game. But then you go to the defenses. Alabama only allows 17 points per game, and Florida allows 27 points per game. Florida's going to put up points. But this is going to be a crazy score. This is going to be a shootout. Alabama's going to win probably like 63-38, something like that. So I think they cover easily. Florida's going to put up points, but they will not. I will be surprised if Florida stops Alabama one time in this game. One time. 3 and out, turnover, whatever. If they stop Alabama one time in this game, I will be shocked. That's how much I do not trust Florida. So I'm going to take Alabama, and I'm going to lay the points. Alabama is going to show the nation they're the number 1 team in the nation, and they're going to show the playoff committee that they have Florida ranked way too high. Give me Alabama easy. The Big Ten Championship, Northwestern against Ohio State. This spread is actually higher than the SEC spread. Vegas did not learn their lesson. Remember the last time Ohio State was a 20.5 point favorite versus a highly ranked team? Indiana. What happened? Their defense let them down. Northwestern does not have a good offense. Not going to lie, not going to sugarcoat it. But they have a great defense. They allow less than 15 points per game. So if they can even slow Ohio State down, they can keep this a close game. Ohio State's going to win this game, but I think they'll win by 10 points to maybe 2 touchdowns. I just think 20.5 points, that's too much. I don't like it. But I think Ohio State wins, and of course the playoff committee will put Ohio State in the playoffs. We all know it. I mean, even if they win by 1, Even if they win by 1 point, the playoff committee going to do it. The AAC championship, Tulsa against Cincinnati. Like I said about the playoff rankings, Tulsa rose 1 spot and Cincinnati fell a spot. They were playing each other, and it was the same game that got canceled. Cincinnati fell a spot, Tulsa rose a spot. And if you look at the playoff rankings, I wrote everything down. Either stayed the same or rose. Here's the teams that stayed the same or rose after not playing, either canceled or they were off. Notre Dame stayed the same. Clemson stayed the same. Ohio State stayed the same. A&M stayed the same. Iowa State rose. Oklahoma rose. Indiana rose. Louisiana stayed the same. Texas stayed the same. NC State rose. Tulsa rose. The only team that fell that had their game canceled or didn't play was Cincinnati. Yeah, you can't sit there and tell me something's not up. So hopefully this game gets played. Cincinnati opens up as a 14-point favorite. They are very balanced. Ritter, their quarterback, 66%. He's thrown for almost 2,000 yards. Their running back, Dopes, he has 4.8 yards a carry. I wish that were a little bit higher, but it's good enough. Tulsa does not have a good offense. Smith, their quarterback, less than 58% completion rating. That's not good at all. 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And Prince, their running back, 5 yards a carry. That's okay, I guess. And Cincinnati has a good defense. They only allow 15 points per game. I know Tulsa does too, but they allow 20 points per game. So, yeah, I got Cincinnati in this, and I think Cincinnati could win by 3 touchdowns. The only thing that could keep this game close is Tulsa's defense. It's possible, but I think Cincinnati's offense is too explosive. Now, will the long layoff affect that? I think it will, but I think it will affect Tulsa as well. I think this will be a sloppy game in the beginning, but once it gets ramped up, Cincinnati will take over and win this football game. One of the lesser championships that should be hyped up more than it's been hyped up, the Sun Belt Championship. This is actually a rematch. Number 19 Louisiana against number 12 Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina still undefeated. They rose 1 spot. This is a rematch from previous game in the season, which Coastal Carolina won on the road by 3 points. The line opens up as Coastal Carolina as a 4-point favorite. I think this game will be close to what the first game was. It's going to be a close game. Both defenses are going to show up. Coastal Carolina is going to have to shut down Levi Lewis and Mitchell, especially Mitchell, their running back for Louisiana. Louisiana loves to run the ball. They love to. Coastal Carolina is more balanced. Grayson McCall, 69%, 23 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That's great. C.J. Marble, 844 yards and 5.2 yards a carry. Very, very well balanced on offense. And Coastal Carolina actually has a little bit of a better defense. 18.7 points per game is what they allow, and Louisiana allows almost 22. So this is going to be a close game, but I have Coastal Carolina pulling this out. It's at home, and these guys are wanting to get a New Year's Six bowl. There's an outside chance that if Louisiana were to win this game, they could actually get the New Year's Six bowl. They would need Cincinnati to lose, and they would need to beat Coastal Carolina impressively because they would also need to jump BYU. So, yeah, outside chance. I think if Coastal Carolina wins this game, I think they nailed down a New Year's Six bowl. I think the playoff committee respects Coastal Carolina more than Cincinnati. I don't know why, but it looks like they do by the way they treated them in the polls. And Coastal Carolina does have a nice resume. They've already beaten Louisiana once, who beat Iowa State. They beat Appalachian State, Georgia Southern, Georgia State. Those are good wins. BYU, really good win. BYU was number 8 in the nation when Coastal Carolina beat them. People forget that because, they knocked them down, but they were a top 10 team. So, yeah, Coastal Carolina, I see them winning this and nailing down a New Year's Six bowl and maybe a fleeting a fleeting word towards the playoffs, but nothing serious. And then the last game, the last championship, the most important, the ACC championship. It's also a rematch. Clemson, Notre Dame. A lot of people say that the reason Clemson lost that game is because they didn't have Trevor Lawrence. I do not agree with that at all. Number one, Uiagalelei played great. Number two, it was Clemson's defense that let them down. So the key for me is going to be Clemson's rush defense versus Notre Dame's rushing attack. Notre Dame likes to run the ball. They run the ball. They average 235 rushing yards a game. That's a lot. That's a lot. And Clemson allows 158 rushing yards a game. And what that does, move the chains, move the chains, move the chains. They don't have explosive plays. They don't chunk it out and, highlight reel, stuff like that. They move the chains and they wear your defense out and keep your offense on the sideline and out of sync. That's how they win the football game. If Clemson can stop the running game, which they were not able to last time, they will win this football game. But if they do not stop the running game, they could lose this football game again, because it doesn't matter how many touchdowns Trevor Lawrence throws. If Notre Dame is running down Clemson's throat, they're going to drag this game out and possibly pull off another upset. I have Clemson winning. The opening line is 10.5. I have Clemson winning. I think it's going to be closer than that. Even that half point, I would take those points and say Clemson by 10 maybe. But I think it can be closer than that. Like I said, it all depends on Clemson's running defense against Notre Dame's rushing attack. Kyrie Williams for Notre Dame, 180 carries for 1,011 yards. That's 5.6 yards a carry and 12 touchdowns. That is he is undervalued. Ian Book, he's not dazzling, but he's only thrown 2 interceptions. If you have a quarterback that doesn't throw interceptions, you're going to stay in ball games and you're going to win ball games, and that's exactly what Notre Dame's done. So Lawrence versus Book isn't a high-profile quarterback matchup because Book isn't prolific, but he's dependable, and that's what gives Notre Dame a chance. Don't count Notre Dame out of this. I think Clemson wins a close game, but if it went the other way, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Real quick, I want to apologize, guys. For some reason, it's not allowing me to see your comments. Once this live stream uploads, if it allows me to see your comments, I'll try to answer any of your comments or questions that you have put on here. See, I apologize about that. I don't know what happened. I'll get it fixed. I do know that somebody in Tennessee tried to hack my YouTube account. So, yeah, we've had to put in some safety measures. But that doesn't include, disabling comments. We'll figure that out. I'll go back and look at your comments, and I'll do the best to answer. So just wanted to go over, that was the championships. I wanted to go over the actual rankings real quick. A lot of this is crazy. 1 through 5 stayed the same. Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State, Texas A&M. All stayed the same. That's not where the craziness is. It's right below that. Iowa State is now at number 6. They rose 1 spot. 2-loss team at number 6. Florida only fell 1 spot from 6 to 7. 2-loss team, and they lost to LSU. I thought Florida was going to fall out of the top 10. No. So it looks like the playoff committee is trying to set up a top 10 SEC championship game. It worked. It's going to be against 2 top 10 teams, even though, personally, I don't think Florida's a top 10 team. Number 8, Georgia, 7-2. They jumped a spot. They won at number 25, Missouri. But now Missouri's record is 5-4. They weren't really all that good. They didn't deserve that ranking, so that was overrated. So Georgia skips over Cincinnati. Florida doesn't fall past Cincinnati. Iowa State jumps another spot. So number 9, Cincinnati, they're sitting there 8-0. Their game got canceled. They're the only team that fell after their game got canceled. I feel bad for Bearcat fans. So if you're a Cincinnati sub, man, you can let your frustrations out. Like I said, I want to go back and look look at the comments. You can cuss, you can yell, do whatever you want. I cannot fault you for that at all. This is sheer nonsense. Other notables: number 12, Coastal Carolina, 11-0. They jumped one spot. That win at Troy is more valuable than you realize. Troy is not a very good team. They're 5-6. But Coastal Carolina, the game before that, they had just played a very good BYU team. Very emotional, very physical. They were drained. They put it all out on the field. So for them to go to Troy and gut out a win on the road, 42-38, Grayson McCall throws a 23-yard touchdown pass with like 35 seconds left. Amazing performance. They gutted it out. They are still undefeated. So in my book, that's a good win because Troy was a textbook trap game, letdown game, whatever you want to call it. I had a feeling that Troy could upset them, but Coastal Carolina pulled it out, finished a regular season undefeated, and will play Louisiana in the Sun Belt Championship. 13 USC, they're still undefeated. They went on the road and beat their rival UCLA. I thought UCLA was going to win that game. They were in control until about midway third quarter, and then the momentum changed, and then it was all USC. So that was good for them. Maybe USC can get into the top 10 if they win the Pac-12. Who knows? Northwestern stays the same. So you got number 4, Ohio State against number 14, Northwestern. Ohio State wins, they're in. If they don't, then we'll see what happens. North Carolina jumped up 2 spots. And then the big faller, Miami. They fell 8 spots because they got smacked around by North Carolina, 62-26. I've never seen Miami get owned like that, especially at home. I've seen Miami getting beat pretty bad a couple of times, but this is a straight-up woodshed beating. So I've never seen anything like that. Probably never will. They were not prepared for that game at all. North Carolina jumped out to a massive lead. I mean, from the beginning, it was bad. So Miami's lucky they didn't fall out of the top 20, but they only have 2 losses. And the reason North Carolina didn't go any higher is because they have 3 losses. So Miami is still going to go to the Orange Bowl, and they'll probably play either Florida or Georgia, depending on how that SEC championship goes. If Florida loses a close game to Alabama, it still could be Miami and Florida in the Orange Bowl. But if they get blown out like I expect them to, then I'll say it's going to be Miami and Georgia in the Orange Bowl, which that's still a decent matchup. But we'll see. Other than that, not much to talk about. San Jose State, they weren't ranked last week. They jump into the top 24, top 25 at number 24. They're better than people realize. I've been keeping my eye on San Jose State. They're undefeated. They won against Nevada. Nevada was 6-1, a one-loss team whenever they played San Jose State. So that game was for first place in the Mountain West, and San Jose State won. They could end up winning the Mountain West and getting to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. We'll see how they do against Boise State, though. So just wanted to talk about the new playoff rankings, if you can even call it that. This year has completely opened my eyes about our government and about college football and about how life works. I mean, basically, people that have money, when they decide to turn the screws are going to be turned, and there's nothing the rest of us can do about it. But we can complain about it. We can let our voices be heard, and we can tell people or let people know we're not ignorant. We see what's going on, and we definitely see what's going on. So I look forward to seeing y'all's comments. I wish I would have seen them live as they happen, but sometimes that's just the way technology works. When you get a chance, hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I make college football videos. You can ask my regular subscribers. I make college football videos every single day of the week, and you won't be disappointed. You don't have to agree with me every time. You can trash talk with or to me, like in the intro. but you're gonna find something that you like. It's not all West Virginia. Every once in a while I'll do West Virginia, but it's not all West Virginia. You're gonna find a video that you like every week. So hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back on Friday, probably around 10. I've decided my schedule is going to be Tuesday. I was a little late, but Tuesdays try to be here at 10, and Fridays try to be here at 10 as well. Next week, if y'all haven't already heard, not on my channel, not on this channel, go to the NBS Central. I'll type it in here. The NBS Central. Give me 1 second here. NBS Central Facebook group, because they're the ones that are hooking me up with all the interviews that I'm doing. It's going to be some pretty good interviews too, because especially if you're a West Virginia fan, because these are considered West Virginia royalty. It's going to be Pat White, Will Greer, and Rich Rod, which I know a lot of people, a lot of West Virginia fans are like, Rich Rod, ugh. But so there you go. I typed it in, the NBS Central Facebook group. Next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll have those interviews on that Facebook group that I just typed in. So go check it out. And hopefully I don't bomb them. I want to do really well, because these are some guys that I've been wanting to talk to for a very long time. So go check that out whenever you can. I'll be back on Friday, but of course every single day I'll do my regular YouTube videos, and I'm sure y'all will find one that you'll either enjoy or you'll absolutely hate. But either way, you're going to be entertained, whether you like it or whether you hate it. You're going to be entertained. So hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button, and I'm going to say see you on Friday.